What's up, everyone? Rocco here with another episode of the Ball Podcast, which you're probably thinking, podcast? This guy still has a podcast? Yeah, kind of. Let's dig into that first. I had all the intention in the world on consistently doing this podcast. I did all my stuff that I was going to do the podcast, all that stuff. And then, contrary to belief, I'm not successful enough in comedy to only do comedy. So, my actual job that pays for all this stuff started telling us that we had to go down to Manhattan more because they don't believe that we're actually doing anything here at home. So now I go down to Manhattan 3 times a week. And one of those days was when I had dedicated to doing the podcast. And I just don't have the time. On those 2 days that I'm home, I'm trying to record my regular content. I'm doing errands, laundry, you name it. I'm fitting it into those 2 days that I'm not going down to Manhattan. So the podcast, unfortunately, was at the bottom of what got trimmed. So it's still here. I'll pop in and out to do it when I can. My goal and my desire is to have this be a consistent thing, but reality is that life, until I get really popular and do this full time, I can't have an ongoing podcast. But I'm gonna try. I'll try my best. I'm not lying when I say it. Just understand. Now, the reason why I'm doing the podcast today is because a lot of people had a lot of questions. They wanted to hear stories because I just came back from my 3-week trip to Italy. Right? I went from July 17th and I came back August 5th. I did a nice little girata of Italy with the help of my friends over at Perillo Tours. What they did for me is, listen, and this is what I want to say is about Perillo Tours. A lot of people think that when you hear Perillo Tours, you automatically think that it's one of those tours that they do. They do tours, they have these set destinations, they have these set tours. They're not about that. And I've been to Italy twice using Perillo Tours, and both times I just told them where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, and they figured out the logistics. Because it's just so much easier to let someone else figure out those logistics because they know more than I do. They know which hotels are better for families. They know which hotels are closer to everything. They know which hotels are not, in a dodgy neighborhood that has no access to Ubers or something. So they know the stuff that I don't know. So that's why I leaned on them. They're the ones who picked my hotels. They're the ones who, if I did want to do a tour, I said, okay, guys, at this event, I want to book a tour. And they would do that for me, which I only did one tour my entire trip. The one tour I did was of Pompeii, because I've never been there. I like the history aspect of it all, and I wanted to, see certain things and hear about the history of it and all that stuff. So I'll get to that when I get to it in the story. Now, I'm going to bring in a guest. This is the star of all my trips to Italy. Santal Frutterossi. Now, before I start on my journey through Italy, we're going to talk about my favorite juice. This is hard to find, by the way. Even in Italy, I couldn't find it until my third city. Okay? When I was in Milan, the grocery store didn't have it. They all have Santal, which is something that everyone, when I posted about this juice, everyone messaged me right away. Oh, La Bella has it. Oh, this one has it. Oh, that one has it. Yeah, almost all of them have Santal. Almost none of them have Frutta Rossi. Basically none. But, so, when I go to Italy, the first thing I do when I settle in is I go to a grocery store. Because no matter where I am, it's not even I need snacks in my room. You might look at me and say, Rocco, you definitely want snacks in your room. I'm not like a snack guy. I'm not like, but I am like a juice. I love juices. I love drinks. I need to have drinks in my room. And this is the first thing I buy when I buy a juice in Italy. Or their Powerade, because the Powerades in Italy are amazing. When I got home, I ordered 6 bottles of this from a website. And you would think because I love this so much that I'd be done. But I only drank 1 bottle. And I'm not drinking it nearly like I did in Italy. And I'm trying, I deciphered why that's true. And why that's not why it's true. Why that's happening. I would down half a bottle of this whenever I got back to my room. Because I would be dying of heat. And I'd be looking for some sort of refreshment. And this would not even be that cold. Because, the fridges in Italy are set to minimum. And I'd just be looking for some type of relief, and it would be this juice. Now I have it at home, and I have it in the fridge, and it's like I drank it, and it's almost too cold for me to enjoy, because I'm not used to it being cold. I'm not used to, I'm the only one who drinks this in the house. So in the hotel, I didn't put it in a cup. I drank right out of the bottle. So at home, I drank out of a cup. It tasted different. It's weird. So I think it's like when you date a girl away at summer camp, right? You have a little fun at summer camp, right? You diddle each other at summer camp, and then it doesn't work out when you're not at summer camp. I think I'm starting to realize this is my summer camp love. This is not true love. This is vacation love. I love it on vacation in Italy because I'm dying of heat. I'm sweating my balls off. There's no air conditioner, and this is my baby in Italy. America, when I have other drinks that are colder and I'm used to it's still, listen, don't get me wrong, it's still one of the best juices out there. And I'm going to touch on this. Actually, no, I'll touch on this now because it's not relevant to the actual trip. Another thing a lot of people ask me is like, is the food really as good as advertised? It's like, and because then I saw some TikToks while I was there. People were like, oh, the food's just normal. Italian Americans make better food. This and that. The food's just average there. This is my perspective and my take on all that. Yes, the food here is good. The food in Italy is not, it's not that it's at a level where the ingredients are the same. Okay, let's put it this way. Ingredients are basically the same. You take a tomato sauce that you make in here. I look like I'm holding 2 dicks. You take a tomato sauce that here, and you take a tomato sauce in Italy. Same ingredients. You put the same stuff in them. The one in Italy is gonna taste better overall because of the ingredients. Here, And this is not like one of those, hey, the food in America is not healthy. Look at me. I'm no one to be talking about healthy food. Okay? I'm just saying the food in Italy, whatever laws they have around growing food, grocery stores, they're doing it right because the food tastes fresher. Everything tastes fresher in Italy. Okay? Even the McDonald's. If you get a chicken nugget from here and a chicken nugget from McDonald's in Italy, there is a significant difference. The chicken nugget in Italy is like fluffy, it's like a chicken. It's crunchy. It looks like they just made it for you. You get a chicken nugget here, it's good because chicken nuggets are good. But it looks like it could be a day old. If you're lucky, you'll get one that looks kind of fresh. But in Italy, because my kids are such McDonald's freaks, and I'm a big fan of trying the stuff out there because the McDonald's in Italy has different menu items than the ones here. So I'm always looking to do that stuff, and it's cool. The chicken nuggets I had, no matter where I were the same in Italy. But they were significantly fresher. It's the same thing with pizza. Oh, is the pizza in Italy really that good? Look, pizza here, a New York slice here, is amazing. And you're not going to find that in Italy. It's not the same pizza. You're not going to get a New York slice in Italy. The New York slices here are in their own group. You cannot judge them. You cannot judge them against Italian pizza. New York slices are in their own category. Okay? Pizza in Italy is good. And again, it comes down to the ingredients. The dough seems lighter, fluffier. The sauce is fresher. The cheese, it's just better ingredients. It's all made with better ingredients. That's why the food is so much better. Like this juice, I'm not going to even look at I have no idea where the ingredients even are on this thing. Okay, I'm assuming it. Listen, I don't know. I'm gonna speak out of my ass. I'm not gonna speak out of my ass. They have regulations in whatever food that they can't put certain things in that we can put in here. So juice tastes better. The Powerade in Italy, for some reason, tastes amazing. Okay, it's just I think the Coke, the Pepsi, it all tastes better there because they're using better ingredients to make the stuff. So that's why when people say Italian food is so amazing, we could have that too if you kind of think about it, if we just had the similar food laws or whatever. Okay? And again, I'm probably speaking out of my ass because I don't Google anything. I'm just going on what I think and what I hear, and that's it. Okay? So we have that. Food in Italy is great. Okay? Food here is good. It all depends on the person cooking it and the ingredients they use. You could have a pasta with sauce here that'll knock your socks off. You could have a pasta there that'll knock your socks off. It's not a competition. Both are good. It's just the ingredients in Italy are consistently fresher and have a higher quality. And there's more care in it. Now let's start to the trip. Let's get comfortable, guys. I don't know why I said that. So we start off our trip, and our first stop is going to be Milano. Okay? First off, when I'm not one... Listen. Before I start my story, I need to say this. My biggest, pet peeve or little annoyance is, when a Latino person will be, talking regular like this and then go, Puerto Rico, or will say something like guacamole. They say it with the accent. They say it's in Spanish when they were just speaking perfectly normal English. But when they had to say a Latino, they purposely switch the accent. I don't do that. I can't. I'm not turning it on and off, okay? It's if I'm in English mode, everything's in English mode. If I'm in Italian mode, everything's in Italian. The only time I switch it back and forth is when I'm doing my dad's voice. Okay? That's the only time I switch it back and forth. But if I'm speaking English, I'm going to say Milan. I'm going to say Venice. I'm going to say Bari. I might say that, okay? Because I'm in English mode. I don't just toggle it back and forth. All right? So if I say Milan, and then people are, it's Milano, it's Milan. Shut up. Let me just talk. Okay? I'm in English mode right now. You're talking to American. Remember, you are not Italian, you are American. Okay, all right. So I'm talking to American. You're talking to American Rocco when I'm telling you this story. Okay? Italian American. That's it. I'm a little So our first stop is Milan. All right, and we take American Airlines over. I don't take. So this people ask, why don't you take ITA? I would take ITA, but the thing is both times when I went to Italy, I went in. So this time I went into Milan and left from Rome. Last time I went into Rome and left from Milan. ITA took away their route from Milan to New York. They don't have that route anymore. So in order for me to do that, I have to go with American Airlines. I wish I could take ITA. I don't know if it's better than American Airlines. It's probably the same exact thing. But I take American Airlines. So it's not a big difference. As long as it gets you there, I really don't care. So we take American Airlines into Milan. And we're only in Milan for 2 nights. The night that we get there, 1 full day. And then that's it. Because Milan for me is just it's like a guilty pleasure stop. It's not really, I've seen Milan, I've been to Milan so many times that I know it so well. I'm not there to really see anything. What I'm there for is I go hit up my favorite spots. I go to the San Siro to pay my respects. Okay, to Inter. I go to the Inter store to check out the store, see what new stuff they got going on. My wife gets her favorite panzerotti. My son gets Spantini. He loves that. So it's just our hub to acclimate, basically. We go to Milan. We hang out. We just, walk around, chill out, acclimate to the time change. So then when we go the rest of our trip, we're not like jet lagged. That's what we treated Milan like. We stayed at the Hotel Manin, which was picked from Perillo Tours. Great hotel. It was near. If it wasn't as hot, you could walk everywhere. But because it's hot, it's difficult to walk. I mean, so I just Uber. I Uber everywhere in Milan. When I, what was it? 6 years ago, when I went by myself, I took the metro everywhere. But with my wife and the kids, it's such a headache to get them to understand that you have to put the ticket in, then you have to take it off on the other end, and then pain in the ass. So I just Uber. It's not that expensive. It's very accessible in Italy, in certain cities. Milan is a very Uber-friendly area. They have a lot of taxis too. So I just Uber everywhere in Milan. We just go around, hit up whatever we want to see. So Hotel Manin, it's again, if it was probably winter, you could walk easily. I think we did walk one night to a few places, and it was at night. But it was still hot. But it's a nice hotel. The only complaint I would have, and that's a complaint I have for almost every hotel in Italy, is that if I set my thermostat to 17°C, I want my room to reach it. Okay? Because 17°C, I have to convert it now. So give me un secondo while I convert 17°C. Okay. So 17°C is 62 degrees. That room never got below 24, 25. No matter, even though I had the thermostat down to 17, the room actual temperature was never lower than 24, 25. And 24 Celsius is 75 degrees. 75 degrees. Now, listen, it's cool. That's cool. Right? But that's not, I've just been out in 95-degree weather, refreshing cool. That's not, I just took a shower, I'm still sweating, because if you're moving in a 75-degree room, you're generating heat. So that was my complaint. That's my only complaint with that hotel, was that my thermostat never reached the temperature. And my saving grace, and it's my recommendation I make for anyone, if you are the type of person that needs a fan, or needs it to be cool when you're sleeping, or needs white noise, travel with a fan. I did that the last time I went to Italy. My wife was like, he's on to something, and this time she brought her own fan. So we have our own USB fans. They sell like these little compact ones that actually open up and look like a regular fan, but they fold into something like this. And I bring that and I put it right next to my bed. I face it to my face. And even if it is 75 in my room, with that fan, it's very, very doable. And you cool down really quick. So bring your own fan if you're like me and you need it to be cold. Because as one of my friends said, I like to hang meat in my living room. That's how cold I keep it. People come to my house now and they bring sweaters because I like it cold. I always hated the heat. My father was the same way. He said it's the Calabria's blood in us. We don't get like cold and we get too hot. And another thing is I'm very open to saying I'm on anti-anxiety, antidepressant medication, which makes you more susceptible to heat, right? So I sweat a lot. And it's not like, and you would assume it's because I'm fat. Partly, but it's the medication. The medication makes me sweat a lot more than a normal person. And I start sweating so much and it's just uncomfortable. So I need my fan whenever I travel. So I really have nothing much to say about Milan because for me, it's just a hub for my trip. Milan is my favorite city. People say, oh, it's because you're American and it's the closest thing to New York. No, it's because of Inter. Okay? Inter is my team. I love Inter. I eat, breathe, sleep, shit Inter. And when I'm in Milan, I feel close to my team. Milan is a special place for me because maybe some of you remember, maybe you are new. After my father passed away in 2019, I always wanted to go to San Siro with my dad. I always wanted to go watch a game of Inter and to San Siro with my dad. Kept putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. He got sick, he died. I never got to go to San Siro with my dad. So when he died, I promised to take the trip in his memory by myself. So in 2020, maybe 2 weeks before they shut down everything for COVID, I was in Milan. I had my father's hair that I had cut off him because I had given him a haircut before he passed away. I shaved his head for him. And I sprinkled it on the field at San Siro. I also took one of his mask cards and I slipped it into a crack somewhere in the Inter locker room. So Milan has a very, very special place for me. So it's my hub. It's my favorite city in Italy. I know everything around it. I'm very comfortable in Milan. So next on our agenda is Venice. Venice, I gotta say, let me start with getting to Venice. We took the train to Venice, which was, I think, maybe a 2.5 hour Frecciarossa train ride from Milano Centrale to Venice. And the train in northern Italy is just such a pleasure. It's so comfortable, it's so clean, it's fast, it's cheap. Like, here's the thing. In this trip there was 3 separate train rides, right? 3 train rides of from Milan to Venice, Venice to Florence, Florence to Napoli. Three rides, 4 of us, and I paid for business class. And before you say anything, it's not. I paid €250 total for those 3 trips, 4 people, business class. Okay, I don't take business class because it's business class. I take it because it's just more comfortable. If you take business class, you get a little table between you. I know my kids can lie down, watch their iPad easily. They bring you drinks and stuff like that. It's just more comfortable, and it's not that expensive. That it's not far fetched to just upgrade that. So we take business class from Milan to Venice, and the train ride's not bad. I don't know why. Everywhere I go, I have to have someone who's fucking annoying. I had this Arab guy next to me, probably a newlywed, with his wife, the entire time just talking so loud and watching TikToks on full volume, no headphones. Full volume, no headphones. And all I heard every time from the thing was Allah, Allah. I don't know what TikTok, what algorithm this guy was on, but every video mentioned Allah like 7 times. Then the girl next to him, he's making her take pictures of him looking cool in the business class. And I'm like, these freaking people, I can't. Thank God I have headphones. Thank God I'm on anti-anxiety and medication. So I can deal with it. I just got headphones on. So the train ride is just that. I'm happy because those 2 idiots get off at the wrong Venezia stop. Because there's 2 Venezia stops. I don't know why they have 2 Venezia stops. The first one is like mainland Venezia, and the second one is the real Venezia that you want to go to. They got off at the first one. Fuck you. Wear headphones. Then when you pass that first Venezia stop, that's when you stop seeing like the regular world and it's just all water. And you just start coming to a spot where it's just water. And when you get there, and when we stepped out of the train station, oh no, I want to just say this before I do that. So here's the thing. Perillo Tours set up my private transfer from the Venice train station to my hotel. And I really needed this. I didn't take private transfers anywhere else. Or I didn't do that. I only do that for airports, and I only did that for Venice. And the reason being for Venice is because I knew Venice is just, I've never been there. I know it's complicated with there not being any roads or anything like that. So I didn't know what to do. And I don't go in guessing. I have my kids with me. I have my wife with me. I'll pay extra for the luxury of not having to worry. And let me say, whatever company Perillo used to coordinate my transfer, ridiculously great. I think I texted Diana at Perillo and I said, I want to say his name just because he was that great. Let me see if I could just find the text message that I sent Diana when we were in Italy. No, this will be easier if I just look at my WhatsApp. Dove il chat? Sarà. Here we are. This is Alessandro. I was thinking it was Alessandro, but I didn't want to say the wrong name. Alessandro, from I don't know what company he is, but I wish I could shout him out. Because this guy texted me the night before my train left. And just, here, he wrote me a whole thing here. Just telling me that he'll be there to get me. and not to get off at the wrong Venezia stop and all that stuff. And he just texted me. He texted me while I was in Milan telling me, hey, Rocco, I don't know if you saw, but your track number is this. I hope you're at the train station already. And I was there. He texted me while I was arriving at that wrong Venezia station. And he texted me, Rocco, make sure you're not getting off at this stop. Then he texts me when I'm going there. He goes, Rocco, I'm going to be right at the end of the platform with a sign with your name on it. And meet me there. First person I see when I look up the thing is this guy. I've never had someone so on top of their game that you appreciate when someone's really good at their job. And this guy, Alessandro, I texted Diana as soon as I got back to my hotel. I said, this guy needs to be the face of something, or just tell whoever this guy deals with this guy, he's a gem. He meets us at the end of the platform. He walks us outside of to the station to where the private water taxi is. The moment I step outside of the Venice train station, I have no words what it looks like. It looks like a movie. It doesn't look real. It does not look real. You look out and you just see the water. You see a canal. You see boats going back and forth. You don't see cars, no roads. You just see these white taxis, these white water taxis that are private, going in and out. It's just, I had a smile on my face walking out of that station just because of the instant look of Venice. So Venice, we were going to be there 4 nights, I want to say. 3 nights. I think 3 nights. Right? So Alessandro walks us out. He walks us right to the spot where he already has our private water taxi to take us to the hotel. Now, if there's one thing I'm saying to spend a little extra on if you ever go to Venice, is the private water taxi transfer. Spend the money on that. I don't think it's that much more. It's not like a $1,000 thing. I think it's like $100 or something like that. Whatever, because find it in your budget to do the private water taxi transfer. Because the ride we had from the train to the hotel in that private taxi was one of the highlights of the trip. Because you have to remember, we're seeing Venice for the first time. We are new to everything. My wife, my kids, we're just taking it all in from a boat where no one's bothering us. We're by ourselves. It looks like one of those, the way the private taxis are in Venice. It looks like a fancier boat. It's not. It's a regular boat, but it just looks fancy where you can stand up in the back. My kids just had a ball in that trip of just having the private water taxi. So that, I couldn't say it more. Spend the little extra to get the private transfer. We get to where the hotel is, and we get off, and then they've organized a guy that puts our luggage on a carrying thing and brings it to the hotel so that we don't have to roll it on the cobblestone to the hotel. Granted, it was a 2-minute walk. It probably would have been very easy for us to roll our own luggage there. I didn't know this, but it's something that's included in that transfer, which is a nice little thing. Not having to worry about the luggage. Sometimes we had 4 big luggages. All right, we didn't have like little carry-ons. We had 4 big luggages. Each of us had a book bag on. It was a nice touch. After having to push them all myself and whatever, it's nice. Then we get to the Palazzo San Lorenzo in Venice. That's the hotel that Perillo Tours has found for us. It's overlooking one of the small canals in Venice. The room we got was like, I felt bad staying in it because it looked too fancy for someone like me. Like my dumb ass is in this room that has like red velvet walls, a wooden ceiling, some statues in it. Way too fancy for a stupid ass like me. But my kids loved it because it was like a suite where their beds were in a different part of the room. You open the windows and you're overlooking one of the canals. My kids could see the fish in the canal swimming, get eating the bread the tourists are throwing them, and they just love it. And one of the reasons why this hotel is probably number one rated for the trip for me is because their AC worked. So their AC wouldn't let me get it down to 16 like the Milan ones. I think the furthest it went was 18, but I put it to 18, and by golly, it reached like 19. It got cold enough in that room that my wife had to put on a sweater a couple of nights. So, shout out to Palazzo San Lorenzo for actually having air conditioning that works. Because there was nothing... I mean, Venice wasn't as hot as Milan. It wasn't as hot as everywhere else we were because it's surrounded by water. There's always a nice breeze. So it wasn't as hot, but you're still sweating. You're walking. My fat ass is not good at this stuff. But walking into a room that's actually cold when you get back, that alone is worth the price of admission. Now Venice, what we plan, me and my wife, what we like to do is that's why I don't like tours. I don't like having a set agenda. I when we go somewhere, we've done that before where we had agendas and stuff like that, and it doesn't work with us. I don't like it. I like to get lost, and that's what I do. It's like at Venice, I would have an idea where we wanted to go. I'd have an idea where we wanted to hit. And sometimes we did that. We would purposely make a circle to hit a bunch of places. But other times, we would literally just get out and walk. And turn down random little alleys. And see where we'd end up. I mean, 9 times out of 10, you end up at the same canal. Or you end up at St. Mark's Square. Because it's not big. You could probably walk one end of Venice to the other in like 20 minutes. So it's not like it's this huge metropolis that you need to have. You're going to worry to get lost. You're going to get lost just because everything looks the same until you reach one of those places. But you're only ever maybe 10 minutes away from your destination. So the first day when we did our little travel, the first place we hit up was that the Libreria Acqua Alta, the library of the high water, which everyone knows Venice floods, and it floods like maybe a I don't know. I didn't Google, so I'm not gonna say. But all I know is that this library floods every year, and to make up for losing all the books and all that stuff, they put their books and all their stuff in boats and gondolas and in bathtubs. So when it floods, it doesn't really affect the books. And it became a tourist attraction. People love to go see it. They have so many books that, like, I don't know if anyone actually goes there to buy books or just look at the library because they have a lot of books there. I mean, I didn't buy anything because I don't read. I mean, I barely Google. So I'm not buying a book. I mean, I went there, I looked, I was like, oh, wow, look at it. And you kept walking. Gonna be honest. And then we just walk around. Right across from my hotel, there was a Venetian mask shop where this guy, I think, made all the masks in there. And I wanted one so bad. So bad I wanted one of those masks. But I couldn't get one. Just because it was the second stop of our trip. There's no shot that mask was going to last all my stops and not break. So I didn't get one. I wanted one, but I didn't get one. As always, During the trip, we stopped at the Venezia soccer team store, which my kids. I have a I have a rule. I get all my soccer jerseys from my friend in China. So I tell my kids that there's one rule when it comes to buying soccer jerseys that are real, because the real ones are expensive. If daddy can't get it from China, you can buy it. Right? You can buy it. If it's and also my kids love to get jerseys of smaller teams. All right, just Giuseppe, he loves the jersey of smaller teams. He wants to be wearing a jersey that no one is going to have when he goes out. So we went to Venezia store. My kids bought that stuff. We did the gondola ride. And the gondola ride, it is what it is. It's an experience. It's not the greatest thing in the world. It's not my highlight of my trip. Okay? Because, honest to God, I'd pay for another, and we were saying this during the trip, I would have paid for another private taxi ride around Venice than do the gondola ride again. Because the gondola it's an experience, but it's not like amazing. It's annoying. It's not like I almost tipped the boat over. I legitimately almost tipped the boat over. The guy says the heaviest person gets in first. That will be I. And I tell him, he goes, step on the edge and step in. I said, are you sure that I step on the edge? You don't want me to try to just get right in? Because if I step on the edge, this boat's going to go. And he goes, no. I stepped on that edge. I thought the boat was tipping over. I thought I was capsizing the whole thing. It didn't, because I went quickly in there, but I didn't capsize the boat. And then we just, we went around, and it was, and here's the thing, is I never heard the Venetian dialect before until I went to Venice. I honestly didn't, I'm not, I know the typical dialects. I know the Barese, I know Calabria, Sicilian. I know the core ones that we all know being in America. I didn't know Venice had its own dialect. The entire time, the gondolier, I think that's what they're called, is talking to the other people. He's talking to people he's seeing. And I think he's talking like in code. I think I'm like, it's like I understand some, but I don't understand most of it. It transported me back to like third grade when I first heard the Barese accent. When my friend Nicky Valenzano's aunt and uncle drove me home from his birthday party, and his aunt and uncle were talking to each other in Barese, and I went home right away and went to my parents. It's like, I always thought Nicky was Italian. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, no, he's Russian. I mean, like his aunt and uncle were speaking Russian to each other the whole way home. And that was Barese. I didn't. So, yeah, they was talking Venetian dialect, and that was my first experience with it. I thought it was an Albanian guy just giving me the gondola ride. Like, my wife was like, oh, why didn't he sing? I was like, I don't want a singing gondolier. Just do your whole spiel. Get me around. It was anticlimactic. My kids, I think, thought it was going to be something better. My kids wanted to put their hand in the water, and they weren't allowed to. You do it. You do the gondola ride because you're there, and you're going to do the gondola ride. To be honest, I think it might be cheaper to just book the gondola when you're there than to book ahead. Because I don't know if I paid more booking ahead, because I think I was hearing people pay less when I got there, but at that point I don't care. There's a vacation mode, Rocco, and that's where money becomes monopoly money, and then I pay the price when I get home. That's what happens. So Venice is beautiful. It's one of my favorite parts of the trip. The food was good. The ice cream was good. Uh, it was just very picturesque. But I don't think I'd go back. And that has zero to do with anything being wrong. It's just if I were to go back, there's nothing else that I would do. Right? So we went to Burano, which they need to do something about the names of this island. Because there's two islands off of Venice that people visit when they're in Venice. Burano and Murano. Okay? I don't know what smartass decided this, but they should fix it. Murano is the glass place, the glass island. So you go there, that's where they make all the glass. They'll do glass demonstrations and stuff like that. We chose not to do that just because. I mean, we had, like I said, the first day of. We had 2 full days in Venice. The first full day, we knocked out everything we wanted to do. The second day, we were looking for something else to do because we think we did everything right the first day. That's when my wife was like, there's Murano and Burano. Murano has all the glass and all that stuff, and my kids are not going to be into that. They'll probably break something or get hurt. It's a headache. Plus, I can't buy any glass. Okay? I can't buy glass. Remember, it's the second stop on my trip. This is definitely not making it the whole trip and then making it home in one piece. So I'm not even bothering. Then there's Burano. Burano is that island. It's another picturesque island. It's also one that has canals in the water. It's like an hour boat ride from where Venice, regular Venice. All the houses are multicolored. Like there's one like yellow house, orange house. It's very beautiful. So we chose to go to Burano instead of Murano. People do both. We chose to only do one. We go there just to go check it out, see what it's about, take some pictures. It's an island of only 1,200 people or something like that. They only have one elementary school on the island. For middle school and high school, the kids actually have to take one of the boats to another island to attend school, which is crazy. We're walking around. It's small. My kids, we stumble across a soccer field, and it's not really a soccer field. It's more like a calcetto field. It's small. It's actually not even turf or grass. It's just painted green, but it's that fluffy stuff. Not fluffy. It's like that bouncy rubber that's at the bottom of a playground, painted as a soccer field. And it's closed behind a gate. And my kids, they're devastated because they just, no matter where my kids go, they want to play. They want to play soccer wherever they go. And I'm going to say, okay, again, there's going to be someone, it's football, not soccer. You're talking to American Rocco right now. It's soccer. That's what I grew up saying. Ignore that. Let's just keep the story going. So we're like, it's closed. We start walking away. We see a group of kids. They're obviously local to Burano with a soccer ball in their hand. And we see them go towards the fence. They open it and they go into the soccer field. My son right away, because at that point we were walking away from it all, looks at me and he's like, can we go look again? And I said, sure. I said, if you want to ask them to play, if you can play, go to them and say, posso giocare con te? And say that to them. Because I'm not going to, I want my kids to do it themselves, to learn, do it themselves. So my son Giuseppe right away goes right up to the kid, asks him, and the kid said, yes, come in. And both my kids went in. So I said they're American, they don't speak Italian, and they just played. For like an hour and a half, my kids just sat there and played. They didn't speak the same language as those kids. Those kids didn't speak English. I think maybe one of them might have spoke a little bit of English. And they played. And my kids, that was the highlight of their trip. The whole 3 weeks, the highlight was them playing soccer with local kids in Burano. And it's just a beautiful thing, and it's crazy. We're sitting there, and it's like these kids, and they're on an island of only 1,200 people, where everyone knows each other, and it's crazy. That's why Venice, I think, is a place you have to go. Yes, you'll probably only have to go once because I don't honestly, unless I miss something, I don't think there's more to do if I were to go back. Um, but that's that. We had to transfer. The next stop was we were going to Florence, so we had the same thing. We had someone did our transfer from the hotel to the train station. Again, had someone come get our bags. Took the private taxi to the train station. Amazing. We were sad to leave Venice because it was a very good part of our trip. But again, we said there was nothing more for us to do. We didn't think there was anything else to do in Venice. So we were taking the train again, Frecciarossa, from Venice to Florence. I think it was like a 2.5 hour train ride. And my hotel, the hotel that Perillo Tours arranged for us, I think was only like a block and a half from the train station, so I didn't need a taxi, I didn't need an Uber. I figured, hey guys, it's only a block. How hard can it be? Let's walk it. Uh yeah, it's not fun. Cause when so I don't know why, but the train station in Florence doesn't have a ramp to walk out of it on like both sides. So, like, I was like, okay, that's the direction to the hotel. Let's go out that exit. And there was like a flight of like 25 steps. And I was like, fuck it. I ain't looking for a ramp. I just started carrying the luggages down the stairs, sweating my ass off. And we're like, okay, where do we walk? I'm hot. There's a million people waiting for a bus. Florence did not start off well just because of that whole situation. So then we're walking with the luggages. My son's complaining because he was looking forward to walking in the luggage, but I don't think he realized cobblestone's a thing, and walking with a luggage on cobblestone is you might as well stab yourself in your dick hole. And that's honest to God truth. We were walking there. Again, it's only a block. But the cobblestone makes it feel like a mile. So we're walking to the hotel. Right outside. Florence did not have the best first impressions. Like, we just came off of Venice, where it took my breath away when I walked out of the train station, to Florence making me ask, where the fuck did I just go? Okay? I did not see any Italians when I walked out of the Florence train station. Okay? I don't know where I took this train to. The first thing I saw was a halal cart. Right? And then it was all dirty around the halal cart. And as I'm walking to my train station, I'm just seeing... I'm walking to the hotel from the train station. I see a halal store. I see... Listen, I'm from New York. I've not had that experience in Italy yet, and it was just throwing me off. It was just so many immigrants of non-Italian descent that it just threw me off. And it's not like I have a problem with it. It's just it throws you off when you're expecting one thing and you see another. And it's hard to put that into words without someone trying to take it out of proportion. But it's not. I walk out of a train in Italy. I'm not expecting to see a halal car like I do in New York, which is the first thing I see when I cross the street, a halal cart. All right, I see an immigration center, something like that. It just threw me off, and we get to the hotel. Right, hotel's nice. It's the Hotel Grande Adriatico. Nice hotel. Very, very, very nice staff. They made me feel so welcome when I checked in. Just overly, they were so friendly. They gave my kids a coloring book, stuff like that. Very friendly staff. Hotel is nice. Um, I was just so overstimulated at that point when I checked in that I needed to go to my room and just like decompress for a little bit. Because that walk with the luggage, that sensory overload of like me wondering why the hell is there a halal cart there? Why is there a kebab store? Like I haven't seen it. You know, it's like it just threw me off. And what's funny is that last summer we went on a cruise, and one of the stops was in the Bahamas. And my son comes to me while we're in the room relaxing, and he just looks at me and goes, "But Daddy," he goes, "is Florence like the Bahamas?" I was like, "No, why?" He goes, "No, I saw a lot of people like I did in the Bahamas." And that's what he was saying, because a lot of the people look like the people we saw in Bahamas. And I was like, "No, it's not. I think it's just because of where we are in that area. That's why that's the demographic around here." So Florence started off just very confusing for me, and I just needed some time to decompress. I couldn't. We would go out to dinner, and again, I'm hot, and we just picked the first restaurant that we could find that has something, and we go in the restaurant, no AC at all. Just Florence, I don't know. I don't know if I didn't spend enough time to get to know Florence, or if I just didn't do the right things, or it's just because. Listen, I'll go just into it deeper. I mean, we were in Florence 3 days. We had 2 full days in Florence. The first full day, basically, we didn't stay in Florence, so I really only had 1 full day in Florence. The first day in Florence, what I had set up for my family to take a tour of the grounds of the Coverciano Italian Technical Center. That's where the Italian national team trains. That's where all the coaches uh, for the national team learn. And we took a private tour of the whole grounds. We got to see the locker room where the players all train on staying. And my son Giovanni, of course, his first understanding that the players shower together, and he was very concerned about that. So we did Coverciano. It's beautiful. You get to see the World Cups. They have the Museum of Italian Soccer there. It has very. If you're a fan of soccer and you're in Florence, you go to the Museo del Calcio. Okay, you go there because you're gonna see stuff that means something to you. And that museum was beautiful for me. I loved it. It was a great experience. We took our taxi back to the hotel. We relaxed for a little bit, and then we were gonna go to Pisa for the afternoon, because Pisa is only like a 45-minute to an hour train ride from Florence, and Pisa is not a destination where you go for more than maybe half a day. So the day that we are going to Pisa, there is a strike for the train workers, and the train to Pisa is delayed like an hour. I mean, some people's train got canceled, some ours was delayed an hour. We get to Pisa, and because of the train, the strike, there's no taxis at all. No Ubers. Well, and there are Ubers, but it's €200 to get to the Leaning Tower from the train station, which is like it's like 1 kilometer away. It's hot. I don't feel like walking, but we end up having to walk. All right. So I'm just annoyed at the whole fact that I can't get a taxi and all that stuff. We get to the Leaning Tower, and oh wow, it's the Leaning Tower. It's not as big as I thought it was. It's leaning. There's all people doing the thing. Uh, it was uneventful. I mean, Pisa, I guess it's another thing you just gotta see. But if you don't see it, it's not the end of the world. I can't imagine what else there is to do in Pisa. Uh, we found our way to the Pisa soccer stadium because my kids wanted to see it. It's only like a block away from the tower. We went to the Pisa store where my kids wanted to pick up some jerseys. And then we head back to the train station and go back to Florence. I mean, Pisa, it, no taxis. It was just, it is what it is. It was not, I went, it wasn't a highlight of the trip. It was part of it. Then the next day in Florence, I had tickets to go see the David. Because everyone says that if you're in Florence, you have to see the David. Again, I didn't want to do a tour, so I just paid for a ticket to access to see the David. We go in, we see the David. No matter what picture you take, his dick is like the focal point of the picture. I take a selfie with my family, and it looks like we're taking a selfie with this thing's dick. It's I don't know. Maybe I'm not cultured. I didn't care for it as much. Okay? So we saw the David, we walked around that museum a little bit. My son Giovanni called it the Museum of Peepees because every statue's dick is out. I had more fun waiting for my time slot for the David and outside the museum watching the scammers work. Because in Florence, there's this scam. I think they do it in other cities too. I know it's more found in Florence. Is where they'll lie posters on the floor, and then the guy will step away, and he puts them. They put them in such a spot where if you're not really paying attention, you're gonna step on the picture. So you step on the picture. He causes a whole commotion, and then he demands that you pay or something like that. Please hold while I just check this. So I had more fun watching that. I had more fun watching the scammers try to scam people than the David. After that, we walked around. I saw, the wine window. We saw, like, Ponte Vecchio, stuff like. I don't know. People say Florence is their favorite city. It's beautiful. It's breathtaking. Maybe I hit the wrong spots. Maybe I should have had Perillo Tours schedule something for that day to show me around Florence, but I don't know. Then I'm gonna be honest. My number one thing I was looking forward to from Florence was getting a Florentine steak. That's all I heard about was the Florentine steak, And we went to a restaurant called Bucamario. Place has been open since like 1898. It's famous, for the steak, stuff like that. The food was phenomenal. Everything we had was phenomenal. The Florentine steak is trash. I I can't say it in other words. I like my meat medium, basically. When I order a steak, I like it medium. They only let you order the Florentine steak rare. And this is like beyond rare. It's like tough to eat rare. Like the part on the outside part of it was delicious. I could not chew the middle. I spent more time that my jaw hurt when I left chewing that steak than anything. My son, Giovanni, wanted a steak. But he's not going to eat a rare steak. So they won't let you order the Florentine steak rare. So they'll let you order another steak well done. My son had that one. His steak was phenomenal. His steak was phenomenal. My wife had pasta. Phenomenal. I had the tiramisu that they made. Phenomenal. Everything was phenomenal at that place. But I was disappointed with the steak. And it's definitely not the restaurant. I think that's just my taste with steak. I've discovered I'm not a fan of rare steak. So that's my story for Florence. I mean, maybe I'm an asshole. Maybe I'm not cultured enough for Florence. But that was that. Our next stop was Napoli. Now, Napoli, I was excited. I was excited to go to Napoli because it's one of those places where I wanted to go. I always wanted to go to Napoli. I had a lot of friends who were Napolitan. I just wanted to go. So that's why on this trip I said let's hit up Napoli. We were in Napoli for one day. It was 2 nights, but one day, one full day in Napoli. Because I didn't need to see it much. I was literally just going there to go to Spacca Napoli, see the Maradona stuff, see the Napoli store, just feel the heart of Napoli for a little bit. I wasn't doing Amalfi Coast. I wasn't doing Capri. Um, my kids are not really into that shit. I'm not. I can't swim, so I'm not an ocean guy. So maybe another time. But this one, I just wanted to go to Spacca Napoli. I wanted to feel the heart of Napoli. I wanted to just see Napoli. We go. It's what I thought it was. You feel something in Napoli. You feel that love for Maradona. You feel the people are friendlier than in the north. They're much more like welcoming. Uh, of course, the Maradona mural's under construction. So while I got to see the mural on the wall, everything around it was under construction. So I couldn't see like all the scars people left, all the pictures and stuff like that. Those were gone because they're remodeling it. So of course, when I went, there was for that. Uh, but that was it. Napoli was quick. It was one day. I got to see all that stuff that I wanted to do. Uh, After that first full day, we were heading down to Calabria, and on the way to Calabria is when we hit up Pompeii, because I wasn't taking the train from Napoli to Calabria. I was not doing that. I've heard enough of how bad the trains are in the south, how different it is from the north to the south. I have the 4 luggages. I have my kids, my wife. I just had someone drive us from Napoli to Calabria. And on the way to Calabria, we stopped at Pompeii. And Pompeii, I'm a history guy in a way. Like, I'm interested in history. So, like, the Rome stuff and that part always fascinates me. I'm not like an art guy. So, like, that's why I think Florence is more artsy and I'm not that like that. But history, I'm there. So, Pompeii was a sick experience. I loved it. We had a great tour guide, Mario. He was awesome. He he'd purposely always let us walk on the side of the street where it was shade, which I appreciate. But seeing things from Pompeii, you have to go there just because it's that experience. My the biggest takeaway I had was they were showing us how in Pompeii at that time how they had the fast food stores, and they found like these counters with holes in them for hot plates. And all this is accurate. Nothing has been remade. And what I'm noticing as I'm standing there is like these hot plates are coming up to like my thigh, and that's the top of the counter. So I asked Mario. I'm like, Mario. I was like, I just have a question. I was like, is this table so short because it hasn't been dug? Why is the table so short? And he goes to me. He goes, well, back then everyone was shorter. And I looked it up afterwards. It's like back in that time, average height was like 5'3", 5'4". So he goes, you're considered a big guy even in these days, but in Pompeii times you'd be a giant. So that's what that Pompeii was. I was just so interested. Honestly, if I could, what I would want to do is I'd go back to Pompeii in the winter. Right? Just because I'm so interested in that stuff. I am a history buff at heart in that sense. I love hearing about old times and seeing old things like that old and actually seeing them, being able to touch them. That I would love to go back to Pompeii in the winter where I'm not concerned about that 95-degree sun blasting the top of my head the whole time. I want to be able to enjoy, to listen, and I think that's something that everyone always gets hurt traveling in the summer. And Unfortunately for me, my wife's a teacher and my kids still go to school. That's like the window where I can travel. So I always have to have this summer stuff. But if I could ever go back in the winter, I would. So I recommend, if you have any interest in history, even the slightest, you go to Pompeii. Just for that, it's just such a experience. Then we go to Calabria. Calabria is, I know what it's gonna be. It's Calabria. I said to my family, I was like, that was the vacation of our vacation, because the whole other part of the trip before that was sightseeing, walking around, being in the heat. Granted, we're going to be in the heat in the Calabria, but uh, you know, putting in our steps. Calabria was about beach, pool, relaxing. Right, we go to Calabria. The first thing we did was you go to the beach, and that's what Calabria was. I got to see some family, and I got to hang out with that's when my sister met us when she got to Calabria. Then we were all there. So Calabria is that. Calabria was just a relaxing part of the trip. I was disappointed I didn't get to see the Santo Rocco statue, because every time I went to the church, for some reason it was closed. And this is what. So I've only been to Gioia during the Santo Rocco period, where everything is buzzing. Everything is busy, everything is buzzing. We're there a few weeks before that. A few weeks before the peak summer activity. So there was a restaurant called Break Time in Gioia Ionica, in the piazza. My kids remembered it from last time and they wanted it again. And I'm like, all right, the first day we get there, everyone's all a little tired. Let's have break time. It says it's open on Google. It's closed. We go there, it's closed. Things that on Google say it's open, things are just closed. Places are not really open, this and that. So that's what Calabria is. Same thing with the church. I tried to go to see Santo Rocco like 3 times. 3 times the church was closed. Actually, the first time there was a mass in there, and they didn't even get to the communion yet. So and it was too hot to go sit inside the church. So I didn't get to see it. But I saw the church. That was Calabria. It's not really, Calabria is what it is for me. I'm there because it's where my dad's from. I have family there. The first night, instead of break time, we did eat at Bar Tropea, which is in Gioia Ionica. It's just a pizzeria. It's a bar. But the reason it means something to me is because whenever my dad went back to Gioia, he always got pizza there because he liked the way they made the pizza. So he always went to Bar Tropea. So we went there, and that's where we had our pizza. I saw my cousin there. That was Calabria. Calabria is more sentimental for me. It's that experience. It's that connection. That was Calabria. And then, the end of our trip, we went to Rome. We weren't supposed to hit up Rome. But itineraries changed for Calabria that we weren't going to be there as long as we thought we were going to be. So all we did was just move our flight so that we didn't have to do the whole rushing. So we didn't have to connect in Rome, then go to JFK and worry about the luggage. And it was easier for us just to go to Rome a couple days before, relax, go shopping, to do a few things, and then come back to New York peacefully. In Rome, we just, we did one of those golf cart tours, because that's a big thing now in Rome. It's okay. It's honest to God, I thought a golf cart tour meant, listen, the way they advertise these golf cart tours is that you do less walking because they can get where the cars can't. But that's bullshit. They still stop where the cars do, and you still have to walk the same amount. So I thought it was cool. It was nerve-wracking being in a golf cart with the cars around you because the golf cart could only go 30 kilometers an hour at max, and the cars around you are still speeding. So it was kind of nerve-wracking to be in it. Uh, it was good for us because we didn't really want the real tour. We just wanted it to see something if we didn't see it last time we were in Rome. Then the best part of Rome, and this is what I suggest for everyone, is that if you're in Rome and you see the sights during the day, but the sights are different at night. So I've seen last time I was in Rome a few years ago, I saw the Colosseum during the day. This time I was like, I'm not gonna go during the day. I want to see it at night. I want to see it lit up. So I went to the Coliseum and it was like 9 o'clock at night. There was still a crowd there, but the sight of the Coliseum lit up for me was beautiful. And we got some great pictures of my kids and everything in front of the lit up Coliseum. And I thought it was gorgeous. And I was like, I like that whole thing. So that's my recommendation. That's my 2 cents, is that if you're in Rome, and yeah, go for the tour. Go. I mean, we didn't do a Coliseum tour because we did it last time. Go during the day, see what you want, but go back. See it at night. See it lit up. It's a whole different thing seeing it lit up. And that's the end of my trip. I think there was something else I wanted to say about the trip that I might forget. I could have sworn there was a part of this trip I wanted to say, but I didn't. But I think I hit up everything. Thank you to Perillo Tours for figuring out all those logistics. If you have any questions about Italy, ask them for help and advice and guidance. They're helpful. Ask me if you want my honest opinion. I mean, I gave you my honest opinion on everything. Most of the hotels in Italy, the AC sucks. On this trip, I think the Rome hotel, which I forgot the name of it. I forgot to say it. It was the Grand Hotel Palace. AC was decent. Not as good as Venice's, but it was definitely on the level of being okay. It was comfortable going back into the room. You felt the refreshment. But that's it. The trip was. I love going back to Italy. It's for multiple reasons. One, I just enjoy it. I enjoy being there. I enjoy the people. I enjoy, and what my biggest thing is that I enjoy going back to Italy to speak Italian to people. And that doesn't happen that much anymore because my wife and kids make it so goddamn obvious that we're American that even when I speak Italian, they answer me in English, the people in Italy. So this entire trip, it didn't really work. And I was. That being said, hey, this was a podcast. A nice little special edition. I do wish that I will do more. I will try whenever I can. If I don't hate me. Cause you ain't me. But it's the Ball Podcast with Rocco the Comic. Check out roccothecomic.com for all your Rocco the Comic needs. I need a juice now. This one's not cold. The one in the fridge is cold.